Madam Chair, we're live.
This meeting is called to order. Today is October 8th, 2024, and the time is 5:08 p.m. I'm calling to order the Baldwin Park Stakeholders Oversight Committee regular meeting. Pastor Jackson, can you please lead us in an invocation?
Father, we come before you right now in the name of the Lord. We thank you for what you're doing, but we're asking you to take a look at the tragedies that are happening here in our nation, Lord God, with the hurricanes, the floods, and what have you, and have mercy upon the people that are homeless and lost businesses and even lives, Lord. We're asking you to move over into the Middle East and bring peace. And Lord, we are here with the SOC committee to help our businesses and deal with the finances that the community have entrusted us with, Lord. So we need your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of what to do, when to do it, and whom to do it to. We ask this in the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. And now if I can please have everybody join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chief Deputy City Clerk Quinones, can I please have a roll call?
Yes, Chair Lara,
Here.
Vice Chair Jackson,
Here.
Member Hernandez,
Here.
Member Marta Cárcamo. Let the record reflect Member Marta Cárcamo is not here. Member Orozco. Let the record reflect that Member Orozco is not here. Member Rodriguez,
Here.
Member Nguyen.
Here.
We have quorum.
Thank you. At this moment, we will open public communications. Chief Deputy City Clerk Quinones, is there anyone looking to speak?
We haven't received any cards.
Okay. Anyone else looking to speak that did not fill out a speaker card, now is your time. If you can please come up to the podium and state your name.
Greg Tuttle, business owner. I want to reflect back on the meeting we had the last one about the $130,000 that you're going to invest of the money and get maybe a return of maybe $1,000 to $1,500. This is a joke. And if you look at the people that have done the cards, it's hairdressers, it's barber shops, and it's restaurants. It has nothing to do with shopping for merchandise like Target and Walmart and all that kind of stuff where you build up tax. People go to the other cities like West Covina that's only 9.5. They didn't do this 10.75 that ruined a lot of the businesses, because when I buy supplies, I pay more money when I buy it online because I have to pay a tax at 10.25 now instead of the 9.5. It's ridiculous what the city did with this. Now then, you guys are just draining this money and giving it out useless. Now then, on this bingo thing, I don't know if I've ever seen a TV, an 85-inch TV, unless it's solid gold, for $11,200. So you people need to start seeing receipts and estimates that you're getting on this stuff for the bingo. I'm all for the retired people having something to do and entertaining. But from what my understanding is with the bingo thing that you're buying for $13,000, it has a display up for the game. I don't know what the TV's added in there for. And then they add another extra $5,000 just for miscellaneous stuff. I don't understand that. Then we have Rose Tam was going to fix the all the expenditures and stuff on your reports here. And this report that you have on your agenda doesn't show all the expenditures that she was going to correct, that you haven't really spent money on or approved. So I don't know what she's trying to hide or why that's not in there this time. So there's a lot of questions that you people need to start asking the city over here, because what they're doing is they're shoving all this stuff on you instead of trying to use their directors to do the money, getting the money where the regular place used to get it. And you guys need to be concentrating on the sports center thing and find out where you're going to get the property, go to the school board, and let's get this thing started and quit wasting all this money on miscellaneous stuff that's happening. Because it's really sad to see that you guys are pissing away $3 to $4 million already, and there's nothing to show for the community other than you got one police car in the shop getting done. This is ridiculous. And there's stuff that you haven't approved that Rose Tam put on there that you had already approved. They already think you're going to do this. And this is what this city manager does. He shoves it down you, gives you one meeting, make a decision. We want it right now, and that's how it's going to go. This isn't being a commission, and he's not educating you on what's costing you the money. We need to know where it's going and what it is. And when you got $11,000 TV, I'd like to see that TV and like to see a receipt on it before you even purchase that kind of stuff. And if the board takes care of that, why are we having an $11,000 TV?
Thank you, Mr. Tuttle.
Doesn't make any sense. Thank you.
Really quickly, before we proceed, I want the record to show that SOC member Orozco is now present.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else wishing to speak?
John Rios, resident. Just like Mr. Taro was saying, you guys gonna have to start opening your eyes and seeing exactly where we're spending all that money. I take a drive probably 4 times a week around the city, what's damaged and what everything. I usually call Public Works and tell them sidewalks is part of the taxes that we pay. We should be spending money that for this kind of money for that. The city needs to start straightening up and not spending the money too wastefully. We need to talk to the school district. What property are they really going to give us? Don't wait until the last minute or spend $80,000 for a study that you guys don't even have the property yet. It's like buying a house without no profit. So we have to start using common sense for one thing. And this thing about having a meeting once a month, I think you guys should be every 2 weeks so you guys can really see what's really happening. Once a month, that's one of the reasons I quit their committee, because I saw what they were trying to do. City council is just trying to push whatever they want, and then they'll turn around and says, "Oh, no, the committee okayed it." So who comes out in the black? You guys. You know, come on, let's open our eyes up. Let's help the community. Help you guys to make better decisions out in the, in the neighborhoods and everything. We need to, that machine that we're trying to get, yeah, we do need it. Yeah. The one that was there is so broken, they should have bought it 10 years ago. They should put it on a budget 10 years ago. But now that we have the money, let's spend the money. But like Mr. Tuttle says, a TV, why do we need a TV for a machine like that? It already comes with the numbers and everything. You don't need a TV for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak?
Yeah, Javier Navarro. I just want to clarify something about we're asking for money for the bingo machine, not for a TV. So it's not a TV, it's the whole bingo machine. I just want to clarify that. It's not a TV. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Jesse Plata, resident. Now, you had some speakers speaking before me, and they told you just like it is. You are letting over here tell you what to do. They push it on you, and then they want to say, you guys approved it. What is this credit card, whatever it is? What a joke is that? If people have the money, let them go and spend it where they want to. You have to be out there holding a carrot stick or a candy in front of them. That's a joke. Money that's been spent. You can start off with the police department. Have they shown that they are doing their job? When we finding hand grenades, I can go to any shopping center here and I will see license plates faded out. What does that mean? Maybe that car ain't registered. Maybe it's got drugs on there. They can even patrol that. It's everywhere. Last meeting, after I talked to one of our members over here, how come he wouldn't approve funding for the youth? His answer was, not everybody has a youth. That is a disgrace. What else can you fund that's of more importance? I don't give a damn about cars or that. The youth is what's important. No, not everybody has kids. Well, I don't have kids, but I want my neighbor's kid to have that opportunity and the neighbor across the street to have that opportunity. We have to start looking after what we're supposed to. What is our future, our kids? And I'll go again. That's a disgrace to hear that from a council member. Now, they come here and tell you what to do, and you have to approve it. You're supposed to be representing the city. Do any of you go out to the community? I know that they don't. I'll tell you why I see it. When they're going to give an award, do they go out there to their soccer fields or anything to give it? No, it's so bad in here that they bring them in here, and this is where they're going to do it. Show me that you go out there to their games. Be out there and see what it feels like, what you get the feedback from the parents and from the kids. Given 5,000 for sports, I believe was for the football. That won't even buy a team's helmets. You know what it costs.
Thank you, Mr. Plata.
Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? Okay, seeing as there's no one, we're going to move to close public communications. And now we will move on to new business. Item 1, requests for Measure BP funding for the YIFT program.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a continuation of an item from the last meeting. And we made a best attempt to get the remote technology to work. It was very clear and very evident that it wasn't working. And so we did a disservice to you and each of the members with your time. We just could not convey the presentation well enough. You nonetheless gave us an opportunity to bring it back to today's meeting, and we've done that. This is on the proposed GIFT program, a program that we deem to be a triple win, a win, 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 a win for our local businesses, a win for the residents, and a win for the city. And I say why all three win is that the businesses, the merchants obviously will have an opportunity to generate more business revenue, more customer volume. The residents will get an opportunity to double their value of the cards that they purchase. And the city ultimately wins in increasing sales tax revenue, which is clearly the mission of this committee to look after the sales tax revenue of the city. So we would like to take another pass at the presentation. We have with us today Ken Duran from HDL in person, not remotely, but in person. Not the same person as the last time remotely. This is the real Ken Duran, right? Not the impersonator. So Ken, if you can please come up and go through the presentation.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here in person to make this presentation for you. And hopefully we can provide some answers and clarity to the program and its success up to this point and your recommendation, hopefully going forward to continue with the next round of funding. My name again is Ken Duran. I'm with HDL Companies. We are the consultant that the city has hired to assist them in implementation of the gift card program. So if I can go to the first slide, let me give you a little bit of a recap about what the program's all about. YIFTI is a national company that been in business for over 12 years. They provide community gift card programs throughout the country. And these cards can be purchased by residents and they can be redeemed at registered businesses. So it's not any business in the community. It's only businesses that sign up to be a recipient of the program. And I'll get to that in just another couple of minutes. YIFTI, just to give you a scope of their business, they have over 650 card programs across the country. We as HDL, we administer 15 programs with YIFTI in California. Some of those cities that we are working with include Canyon Lake, Lake Forest, Lemon Grove, Southgate, and Upland, just to name a few. These programs are designed as a digital gift card. So it's a card that is purchased. It's not a physical card. It's a digital card that the purchaser would have on their phone or on their device, but they can also print out a copy of it too if they want to use that for redemption at the various businesses. It is actually run through the MasterCard program. So any business that accepts MasterCard can accept these cards. And there is no fee for the business to be a member or a participant in the program. So, and there's no additional fee. So all they would pay would be whatever normal MasterCard fee that they pay for any other MasterCard transaction. Also, what YIFTI does is it sends reminders out to the card recipients or purchasers rather, giving them status as far as how much money they have left on their card, reminding them when the cards expire. So it's an ongoing two-way communication between YIFTI and the actual purchasers of the cards. The program that you established was launched in January of 2023, and it was 100% buy one, get one match. So if someone bought a $25 card, they received a $25 card that was paid for by the city. If they bought a $50 card, they received a $50 card, $100 for $100. The program is targeted for small businesses by design. It's not designed for national chains. It's an infusion program to help small businesses, particularly those that suffered during the pandemic and are still struggling to get back on their feet. Believe it or not, there are still businesses that survived, didn't have to close, especially restaurants and small boutique stores. They're still struggling. They may still be in business, but their profit margin is a lot smaller than it was pre-pandemic. It's no surprise to any of you that labor costs have gone up, food prices have gone up. And so these small businesses, especially restaurants, are still really struggling to keep their doors open. So this allows them the opportunity to have new customers who can come to their store. YIFTI statistics indicate that 60% of these gift cards that are redeemed by people who are going to a business for the first time. So you have 21 businesses currently in your program. Hopefully that'll expand. So if someone may buy a card, they'll get this free card and they'll say, I've never been to this restaurant, but now that I have this value-added card, I'm going to try this restaurant for the first time. So it has that double effect of not only helping the business, but also drawing new customers to their business. Your program, as I said, was a buy one, get one. Initially, the funding, you had $100,000. It was so successful that within the first couple of months, you actually ran out of funding for the buy one, get one. The program was still in effect. People could buy cards, but they didn't get the bonus card. Then in the end of 2023, there was some residual money that was still left in the account. So the city decided, let's try and do some kind of a infusion during the holiday season. So kicked off the program again. It was a buy one, get 50%. So if you bought a $50 card, you get a $25 add-on gift card. That sold out pretty quickly as well. So it's that's kind of a testament to the success of the program. So next slide. So right now you have 21 businesses that were signed up for the original program. 16 of the again, were restaurants and other food businesses, because that was, again, one of the main target audiences that you were trying to go after. There were 3 beauty and barber shops. And again, the personal care services were another area that was hit very hard during the pandemic. So it's no surprise that, they wanted to participate in this program. And then there were 2 stores that were general service retail stores. And to date, more than 2,500 cards have been purchased with a total value of $207,000. And 90% of those cards have been redeemed. So you have almost $200,000 that has been infused back into the community over the last year and a half due to this gift card program. Next slide. So the next 2 slides show all of the businesses that signed up for the program and the amount of redemptions by business. This is in alphabetical order, but you can see the list of the businesses and the amount of redemptions on this slide. And then if you can go to the next slide, those are the rest of the businesses. So that's to date. So the intention would be by the city would be to add another phase to the program. And what that would entail would be we as HDO would continue to be the consultant and assist them in number one, confirming the businesses that are already in the program, make sure that they're satisfied and that the program is meeting their needs and that they want to still be part of the program, but also hope to recruit new businesses, go out, work with your business associations and your city staff, and hopefully we can build on that 21 businesses that are already part of the program and add new businesses to that so that we can actually bolster that up a little bit more. So that's kind of an overview of the program. And that's it. Okay. And I think I'll answer questions later. I think you have a couple of speakers that are going to be speaking on this topic.
Yeah, why don't you come back after Ken? So members, you had also asked us to invite folks who would, prospective new merchants who would be interested in signing up for this, as well as some of the past participants. And so I will call them up to speak to you in the order in which I have them here on my list, okay? So I will first call Tuka from Red Top Kitchen, who was one of actually the top utilizer of the funds last year. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Tuka, business owner for Red Top Kitchen. I'm appreciate the program that help us through the pandemic, but still now we still struggle because of the price going up, and here is a working community, so they don't want to go out and spend the money. But the problem with the program, there's one suggestion that I want to make is like senior, when they come and they want to buy the car, but they gotta have registered. So at the middle of the time that they want to register, they say, "Oh, that's too much for them." So they just like they turn away. But the senior is the one that not using it that much, but they really want the gift card. But it's just like too much of registration with the Yifty program. So they tried, and the password is also complicated. I think I trying to help a couple, but they won't have a special character too. So yeah, that's the one. If we can modify a little bit, then that's good for the senior. So many senior want to come and join the program, but it's too much of registration. So, but it's help. Okay. Yeah, that's all I want to say. But thank you for the program.
Thank you, Tuka. Then I'd like to call Alfonso Romero, who is actually wearing two hats. He's here to speak on behalf of, as a local business owner, as well as a representative of the Baldwin Park Business Association.
Thank you. This program, I feel like, I think being part of the business association, this is kind of something that we've been talking about in our meetings, ways we could network, how we can inject money back into small businesses. I feel like me being a small business owner, we're always looking for ways to kind of, have our businesses grow and give incentive back to the residents to maybe come and visit us, to stay in the city, spend money in the city. Unfortunately, I didn't take part of this last time around, and the person I had in charge of it didn't do it in time, and I was really upset about it, and even seeing now, everybody, my fellow business owners, I know the owners of Broken Horn very well as well, and they told me how much they appreciate, how much it helped them, and they're like, "How come you didn't do it?" And I said, "It's a long story. I'll get to it later." But this time around, I really, I would definitely join. I feel like the funds that are there are great because, like they're mentioning, if you're going to get new customers in, what you want is to have people come into your door, and then it's your job to keep them, right? It's your job to give them a product, something that they're hopefully not going to find outside this, or maybe keep them in the city. And that's the main goal of, I think, of this program is, how can we keep our customers here? How can we keep them not going to West Covina, Duarte, La Puente? Because when it comes down to it, we want these tax dollars to stay in-house. We want the taxes to, to come back to us. We want the residents of Baldwin Park to take advantage of the great businesses here. I really strongly feel like the community here is we have such great businesses, but we just don't have ways of promoting that well. And this being one of them, hopefully, the residents take advantage of it. And on our end, it's up to us to be able to keep them here and, to make sure they're spending the money in the city. Working together as a community, I feel like this program, not only just does it inject money in the right places, because, without small businesses, then what's really Baldwin Park? I think small businesses is really what drives the city. That tax dollars that we do make obviously goes back to the community and the schools and everything that Baldwin Park stands for. So I'm really looking forward to being part of it as a business owner, and also as a business association. I'm also looking part of helping other colleagues that have small businesses promote this, because I feel like it is definitely something really good for the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Alfonso. And next would be what likely is our latest arrival business in our city. We're very excited about them joining and coming to the city of Baldwin Park. I'd like to call Humberto Alvarez of Más Cafecito. Welcome to the city, Humberto.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Humberto, and I'm the owner of Más Cafecito here in Francisquito Avenue. So I heard about this program last year. My aunt is the owner of El Llano restaurant, and she told us about it last year. And I actually bought the limit when they hadn't. I think it was such a good way to be able to not only come back, but to try different places around. I think this is going to bring an opportunity for people that come into the, let's say, Más Cafecito. We'll let them know about the car. And the good thing about it tells you about the other restaurants or shops that are included in the program. And now it gives the opportunity to go and try other different places. So the way I see it, it's one business could promote other businesses to try different things out. So I think it's a really good thing that the city is doing to improve, business growth and new opportunities for everyone. So I'm very glad you guys are doing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Humberto. Next, we have Laura Santos, who is speaking on behalf of the Baldwin Park Business Association.
Good evening. Today is there's a lot going on today. There's a lot of transitions going on. We're changing from a industrial economy to an information electronic economy. We're dealing with climate issues and homelessness, and a lot of residents are really struggling. So I think this is a great program because the residents, I think, will really, really appreciate. A lot of municipalities are taking the initiative, and they're doing basic income and all kinds of benefits because today's the times when things are hard, are difficult, and in addition to struggling residents, a lot of businesses are struggling. We're still recovering from the pandemic. So this, like the city manager said, it's a win-win-win. It'll help the residents, it'll help the businesses, and it'll help the city. So on behalf of the Business Association, I think it would be a great program to approve. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. And SOC members, there were 3 other speakers that were going to join us tonight as well, and they came down with time conflicts or schedule conflicts, but I just want you to know who was also very much willing to speak to you. Daisy from Tacos Madres, who's a fairly new business here in the city as well. We had Alejandro from Mama's Juicery, who opened also not long ago. And then we had the Llano restaurant, who was one of the highest generators of the card last year as well. All those 3 businesses were not able to make it due to schedule conflicts. But that's our presentation, Madam Chair and members. If you would like to have Ken come up and ask any questions, or however you want to take it from here.
Oh, I had a question for the last speaker who just spoke right now. Out of the businesses that we see right here that we saw that participated last time, how many are in the business association? Do you know a rough number? Like,
You mean for Laura? Laura, come in, and then if you don't mind repeating the question, Member Rodriguez.
yeah, it might help if she has the visual up again. I'm not sure if we can put the slideshow back on to show her the participating merchants.
What was the question? How many what?
Do you recognize any of the business names from the participating merchants last time that gave you like good feedback? Can you name a few of them?
Um,
'Cause I know there's like over 20 of
the
them.
print's so little, I can't see it that well.
I'll
but-
bring you printed. You have the printed?
Okay. Oh, yeah, especially, yeah, a lot of these let's see, Casa Guerrero, Broken Horn, we go in there for our pet supplies, Chica's Graphics. Oh, I think Haru's Gone, that was a great restaurant. Let's see. Torta Sinaloa over by Home Depot. Yeah, so several of these I would use them at.
So for like the ones you mentioned, like Chica Graphics and Design, those kind of were the lower ends of the program. They still would participate. They told you that they would vouch for this program and they would want to do it again.
Yeah, yes, they did.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any other questions?
This message or questions for Ken. The dollar amount that's here per restaurant is what was contributed from the Baldwin Park side, city side. Like Red Top Kitchen was $47,510.
That's total redemptions, including the purchase cards plus the matching cards.
Plus the what?
Plus the matching cards. So that's total redemptions, including the cards that were purchased by the resident and the matching card.
Okay. And then on one of your slides, you had 2,500 cards that were purchased, 207,000 of value, 198,000 used. What time frame does that represent?
That's since the inception of the program. So that would go back to the beginning of the program in 2023.
2023. And that's to current month now, or?
Yeah, that's still current. There are still, like I said, 197,000 has been redeemed. So there's still about 14,000 that are unredeemed. So people have cards that they have not used yet.
Ken, one of the questions that was asked by the SOC last time was how long was the valid duration of the purchase of a card?
Yeah. So purchase cards have no expiration. That's actually a state law that requires that if you purchase a card, there is no expiration. You do start to lose some value on that card after a year. Now, the buy one, get one cards does have an expiration because the city is funding that program. So one of our recommendations that the city chose was to put a 6-month redemption for those cards because you don't want people to get those free cards and just sit on them because then they think, oh, well, it's just free. I may not need to use it. What happens is if they don't use that card within 6 months, then that money goes back into your pool and it can be reused for new purchases. There is a slight restocking charge, if you will, that goes against that. Now, YIFTI does remind those purchasers, as you're getting close saying, but, by the way, you're at 5 months, you only have 1 month left to redeem that card. So there are reminders so that they just don't get that card taken away from them without their knowledge.
And I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You say that the purchase card through the program is all on the phone, right? On the phone or on emails, the code.
It's
right?
electronic, yeah.
So the card from the city, is it an actual card or is it?
No, it's electronic. So it would be on their phone or their device. However, they can print out a copy of that card, and then it's a QR code so that they can show it to the merchant and redeem it that way.
So they would have 2 set of codes? Is that,
Yeah.
I'm getting? Okay.
Now, there was a question someone mentioned regarding maybe seniors maybe having difficulty. What some of our cities have done is provided assistance for people to purchase cards. So in the case of your seniors, maybe you could set up something, train your senior center staff. It's really is an easy process. But if they knew that there was somebody that could assist them and walk them through that purchase process, that might be a way to assist some of the seniors who may have difficulty, as we understand that some have difficulty with using electronic devices.
Do you offer any physical cards at all or strictly electronic?
Strictly electronic, yeah.
A question. We go to the store, purchase the card, and reuse it at the merchants there, and we can also take the card and use it somewhere else.
Right. It's just like any other gift card that you would purchase, a Visa card or American Express. You have a value on that card. You can use that at any of the 21 merchants. So let's say you have a $100 card, you go to one store and you spend $25. You still have $75 left on your card. You can go to a different merchant and spend $25, a different merchant. So it's just like any other gift card where it's, the value stays on and it's redeemable at any one of the 21 merchants that are part of the program.
What percentage of that does the card holder pay? You buy a card,
Yeah.
$25, then you go to the merchant. What percentage do we pay for using that card, or do we?
There is no fee for using the card. So it's the value of the card itself. So like I said, if you have a $100 card, you spend 25 on your purchase, then that's the only charge is the $25 and your balance is the same. So there's no fee for I take it back. There is a slight fee for someone purchasing the card. However, the city's program picks up that nominal fee. So there would be no cost to the actual purchaser of the card.
Let me get a little bit more understanding here. We pay $130,000, right? Does that go into to Iffy? Does it go into the city? How does that operate? That $130,000, and then from there, the issues of the carts.
So your program is, what your recommendation is $100,000 in buy one, get one cards. So the $30,000 is for administrative fees and other costs. So the $100,000, what that is the city deposits $100,000 with YIFT. And as cards are purchased and these buy one, get one cards are issued, they deduct that amount from that $100,000. And they give the city a running total as for how much money is left in your bank account, if you will, as the cards are being purchased.
And not being redundant, what happens if they do not use the finances from those cards?
At the end of the program, let's say, in a year from now, there's still money left in there that hasn't been used for buy one, get one programs, and the city decided that they wanted to discontinue the program, they would get refunded the money back to the city.
Okay.
Now, we would hope that that wouldn't happen. And actually, what happened again last year when you started the program, most of the money was used, but then there was some residual money. And then there was, as I mentioned, that 6-month window to use the cards. There were some people who did not use their cards, so money went back into the program. So last November, you had about $20,000 left in your bank account, if you will. And that's when the city decided, well, let's kind of put a new marketing push on this program for the holiday season and try and use up that $20,000, which you did in very short order.
I have a follow-up question for you to answer. Once the consumer purchased the card with the BOGO card, would it be available right away?
Yes. In fact, there are, again, a lot of the marketing of this is on the business side. The city will actually provide window stickers and placards for counters that merchants can put up in their window and on their counters to say, I'm a member of or a participant of this program. There are some businesses that are very aggressive in marketing the cards, especially a restaurant. So if a restaurant, for example, wanted to really push the cards, they could ask somebody as they're coming to be seated, are you a member of this gift card program? Are you aware of it? If they say no, literally the person could sit down, go on their phone, order a card while they're making their order for their food, and get it sent to them by the time they get their receipt, and they can redeem that card on the spot. So there are some restaurants in particular that, if they're very aggressive, can use that approach. And so then the people's like, wow, I can get an extra margarita because I just got this $25 gift card. So again, if the businesses are very aggressive in how they promote the program, then they can take further advantage of it.
One other question. I had a Denny's card. It was similar to what you're saying. And was in another city. They said, no, we don't accept that. This is not our city. This card is just specifically for Baldwin Park and nowhere else.
It's specifically for the 21 businesses in Baldwin Park. So it's only for those businesses that's registered for the program. And it's not for any business in Baldwin Park. Again, because the marketing is really for your small businesses. It cannot be used for a Walmart or or for McDonald's. It's really designed for infusion of funds for your small businesses. So yes, it's very specific, only those businesses in Baldwin Park.
Just one more question.
Okay.
Can I use the card if I would order online? Is that available online through Ubers and stuff if I order in Baldwin Park?
You know what? I don't know that answer. I don't believe so, because it has to be run through the MasterCard for the business. So I will double check, but I'm pretty sure it's not, because it has to run through the MasterCard system of the business itself. And when you're ordering through a Uber Eats or something, it's going through Uber Eats and not through the business itself, even if you're ordering from one of the businesses that's a participant. But I can clarify that and get back to your staff on that.
I can also, from my own experience using Gifty, they did not let me order it online because I wanted to pick up and they said no, not online orders.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I think George,
Uh,
go ahead.
My question is this system is designed for the younger generation or also for the seniors? Because personally, I think it will be harder for the seniors to do this kind of purchase, especially online or by phone, because there's a lot of seniors that they don't have no knowledge on technology now these days. You know, I know it will take a long time for the senior to learn. And I think this system is designed for the younger generation, which they manage that phones, you know, like toys. I mean, actually, it's toys for them because I've seen a lot of people at the markets that they use their phone. They walk out of the market or any other stores and they use the phone. And there's a lot of us seniors that we're not familiar with technology yet. How's that going to help the seniors?
Well, as I say, you're right. There are some seniors that may not be as technology savvy. And so one of the workarounds for that is if you can provide assistance to them. Like you said, at your senior center, provide assistance for them to sign up for the program and then even print out, then they can get a physical paper copy of the gift card and then use that instead of using an electronic device. So it's a little bit more difficult, I will admit to that, but there is a way that you can still include them as participants in the program.
Thank you.
Just going back real fast on, you said, I just want to clarify something. There's a fee for the cards that's the city picks up.
Yes,
It's per card or the per transaction?
it's
How's
per
that?
card. So when someone purchases the card, it's a percentage of the value of the card that's purchased. It's a nominal, it's like 1.5% or something like that. But the program is designed that the city, as part of their contribution, would pick up that administrative fee. So there virtually is no, just like when you buy a Visa gift card at the store, you pay a administrative fee when you buy that card. So there is a slight administrative fee, and that's how YIFTI makes their money, is providing that administrative fee. But the cities are picking up that cost so that it's seamless for the purchaser of the card. So that's part of the city's contribution.
Okay, and it's a one-time.
It's a one-time at time of purchase, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
I do have a couple questions, just for points of clarification. So can you mention that there's a 1.5% nominal fee when you purchase the card? So when the business runs the transaction, runs the card through their credit card processing or whatever it is, do they have to pay like a merchant fee?
The only fee that they pay is what they would normally pay to MasterCard.
So they do pay, so they pay a transaction fee for.
Right, just like if somebody had a MasterCard and purchased something at the
Correct.
store, there is a.
So like
there's-
the merchant fees.
Yeah, the merchant fee.
So the businesses themselves are paying that merchant fee, and then the city is also paying a 1.5% fee on the card?
At the time of purchase of the card, yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So do both fees go to YIFTI?
No, the 1.5% at the time of purchase of card, that goes to YIFTI.
And what the businesses pay?
That goes to MasterCard. It's
Okay.
just like, any other credit card, when there's they do a credit card transaction, they have to pay a fee to American Express or Visa or MasterCard. So it's the same fee that goes to that credit card company.
Okay. And then you also mentioned that if you don't use the card after a year, I believe you mentioned that the amount goes down. So as an example, I have a card, there's $100 balance on there. I forget about it. It's a year later. And I try to use this card and it's not a BOGO, it's just a regular card. Do I still have $100 value on that card or does the amount reduce?
No, the regular cards don't expire.
Correct.
But after a year, there is a reduction in value, and off the top of my head, I can't remember what that is. But I think that's the case with any credit card you purchase, any gift card you purchase. Over time, there is a reduction in value, whether again it's a Visa card or another specific store card, and that's part of state law.
And do we notify the people that are purchasing these cards? Is there something when they're purchasing these cards that notifies them that if they don't use this card within a year, as an example, when it's a BOGO, it's 6 months expiration on there, correct?
Right.
So do the people that are purchasing these cards get notified that their card expires 6 months later if it's a BOGO? And two, that there's a reduction amount
Yeah.
if they wait after a year to use the card?
Yes, they do receive notification.
Okay. And then my last question to you, Ken, is you did mention that to administer the program, it's $30,000 that the city would pay. I'm looking at the staff report, Enrique, and it shows that there's a $15,000 administration and marketing agreement. And
Yeah,
there's a
so
$15,000 contingency.
15,000 is for the HDL, and within that would be the fee that we pick up for the transaction. I assume the fit of the 15,000.
That's part of the 100,000.
And then the other 15,000 is contingency. Councilmember Damian, our foresight in this tells us if the uptake is so quick and as it was the first time around last time, that we would have that extra $15,000 to augment if it goes very, very
So if it's a very
popularly.
successful program, you can add those extra $15,000 to the 100,000. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. And I know that the first time that this came around was it was funded through ARPA, and I'll just kind of give you the SOC committee a background on it. It was funded through the ARPA program, and it was because of the COVID pandemic. We just wanted to make sure that we had something there for our small businesses. And I mean, the reason why I ask these questions is because I want to make sure there's clarification for you guys to know before making your decision, right? But I will say that if we're looking, and I apologize, I wasn't here at the last meeting, but I did go back and look at it. And so I know a lot of the questions and concerns were, how are we going to recoup our money, right? In other words, how is the city or the SOC committee or Measure BP for that matter going to recoup $130,000 that we're spending, right? The answer is we're not going to recoup that because, I mean, if you really do the math, there's nothing that we're going to recoup. However, Measure BP was put in place to help our community, right? So it's helping a resident because, you know, like any of us, we're all residents here. If we go and we purchase a card and it's $100, they're basically in a sense giving us $100. So you're basically giving the resident $100, you know, for free, right? Two, and also most importantly, is it's supporting our small businesses, which, you know, it's something like it's not going to support your Target, your Walmart, or any of these big box stores because these are corporations. This is specifically and solely to support small businesses in the city, which, you know, drives our economy here. And the purpose of this also is so that it doesn't allow, well, you can't say it doesn't allow, but we want to try to keep our people, our residents here in Baldwin Park to stay local, shop local, right? That's always been a goal of ours. And so we have to look at ways for us to explore the possibilities to try to keep as many residents shopping local instead of going to, like was mentioned, West Covina, La Puente, El Monte, and other cities. Obviously, the sales tax money that's going to be generated from this is not going to recoup the money. It's going to give us some, but it's not going to recoup it all. That's just, you know, the numbers just don't, the numbers don't lie, right? But it is supporting our residents, especially when you want to go out. I mean, you know, I know most of you have gone out to restaurants nowadays and you go and spend $100 isn't going to get you anywhere, right? But if you have that extra $100, it's going to go a longer way. That's one. So it's helping our residents in that matter. And then two, it's helping our small businesses. Obviously, you know, I'm a small business owner in the city as well. So I know the struggles. Obviously, this program wouldn't benefit me because I'm not a sales tax generator. I'm a service-based business, but it does generate money for our small businesses. I mean, I was looking at the list of the businesses that were here, like Red Top Kitchen, $47,510. I was like, wow, I mean, I put myself there and I'm thinking that would have been good for my business. You know, an extra 47,000, you know, Magic Hair Studio, 29,000. So you've got some big numbers, you've got some small numbers, right? But this was the one time that we've used it. So I think that by us being able to keep promoting this program and the businesses doing their part to promote the program and have more, I would just recommend that we do market it more, try to recruit more businesses. I know, for example, La Cosecha wasn't part of it at first. Then we have Vaca Brunch, we have Taco Madres, we have Mas Cafecito, and we have other businesses that have come to the city that I know for a fact would benefit from it. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys that history of how this program first came about, and then just kind of give you guys the outlook and my opinions based on it. But obviously, it's your guys' decision. So thank you for allowing me the time.
Oh, Damien, I can answer also. Like I said, I used the program in the past. It did give me a reminder every month, essentially, to tell me how much I had balance. And it would tell me like, and it's also when you're buying the card. I know most people don't read it. I'm one of the people who read the fine print, so it does tell me before I accept that I acknowledge that it will be diminishing, and I acknowledge that before doing that. And I think it was like $2 to $6 every month that it would go down. Um, because I'm procrastinator as well, so it took me a long time to. I used the buy one get one free like immediately because that one had a time limit, but the other one, like I said, my experience was after a year later. That's when I went to use it. Some of these businesses then were like, I don't know what you're talking about, but that's the main thing that I want to flag for people like me who are like, actually, I want to wait a year because I'm just gonna be lazy like that. Um, I forgot I went to like two businesses and they were like, we don't know what you're talking about, even though here I see in the numbers that they did do this program, they did get revenue from it. And that was just my own experience. But I did get notifications and I did know and they did update me the balance and they did tell me all that. Like very often.
Any other questions before we move to a vote?
I'd like to make a statement, and that statement is that I am on the board of the Baldwin Park Business Association. And by being on the board, my job is to see and to help the businesses grow. That's my point of view. But also being part of the stock program, that I would not want by my vote being impartial because I am on the board of the Business Association. That when we vote, I would like to recuse myself from that and allow everyone else. So you cannot say yeah, you on the board, you voted. That's my opinion.
So with that, do we still have to have a quorum if he's reclusing or what is?
That one, because Reynoso came in.
Pastor Jackson, just for clarification, you're not required to abstain. That's not an actual conflict of any kind. You can sit on a board and similar interests as long as you're not benefiting from this financially directly, or a business that you own is not benefiting financially directly. There is not a conflict, so you can participate if you'd like, but the abstention is up to you either way.
Okay.
So with that, I guess, go ahead.
Is it a conflict if we buy one of the Yifty cards or if we approved it? Because like I did that last time. I don't want it like if that happens. I mean, we should not vote if we want to, if we did in the future want to use it.
Good question.
Yeah.
Well, you would be receiving a benefit that available to any resident. So it's not anything that's unique to the board. You should be fine.
Yeah, I would agree with the CEO that you're not benefiting from this in any way that any other member of the public wouldn't benefit from. So it's also not a substantial material benefit, $25.
Yeah.
So Enrique, if Pastor Jackson does decide to abstain, which I don't know if he will yet, but if he does, are we still able to vote or by his,
Yeah.
it's not like we have to have a quorum because he's, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. You're gonna abstain, okay. Okay, so before we vote, I just, I was really, really on the fence about this. But I think I was reminded of something just hearing all the questions that were going back and forth is that, during the pandemic, a lot of businesses did close and they didn't survive. I work in downtown LA, near Wilshire and Figueroa is it the Bonaventure? Bonaventure. Very, very busy area. And yet, even though it's near a lot of businesses, hotels, a lot of businesses closed down and just never came back. And these are businesses that were major restaurants or coffee shops. It still mind boggles me. It's baffling because I'm like, there's people here now, but they just didn't survive. So, I know kind of like what Council Member Damian said, we're not making money at face value in the sense that we're putting this out. But I know I definitely don't want our businesses to move. I don't want them not to thrive and they either completely shut down or they decide, well, we're going to move to West Covina or Claremont or Pomona. Because I think one of the things I don't want to see our cities become are ghost towns. Because a lot of areas still look that way. Because then we are forcing our families to go out and we're not investing in our communities. So with that said, yes.
To add on to what you're saying and all the things we've heard today, I was not going to vote on this, like, yes, unless we heard from the businesses, because I only know the participants aspect, but I feel a lot more confident voting on this, hearing that people will be joining and from past businesses, especially from Red Top Kitchen. Like, I go there quite often, and the fact that I didn't know this number is so impressive to me. And I just want to say from if my other board members, that to me was really powerful to hear that these businesses are saying, yes, we want this. It's not just something that the city or that we're thinking they want. They're coming out, they're taking their time from their own lives to come speak to us to tell us, please do it.
So can I, Jorge?
I just got one question. At the time of the purchase of these cards, the businesses, were they going to be selling them, or will they be accepting cash, or that has to be purchased with a credit card?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I don't think I understood.
Yes, at the time of the sale of the cards, on the business selling the cards, if a person wants to go and purchase a card, that he has to pay cash or he has to pay with a credit card?
Yeah, the purchase of the cards is online, so it would be with a credit card.
Oh, okay. As the businesses will take the time to explain to some of the seniors and people that are not that knowledgeable in technology and the process of how to purchase the card?
Yes, if the businesses, can educate their customers and help them. And I said some businesses do that, so that is a possibility, yes.
Thank you.
Can I get a roll call vote? Is that what we do? Oh, to make a vote on this? Okay. I motion that we take a vote on this item. Can I get a second?
I second.
Member Hernandez,
Yes.
Member Orozco,
Yes.
Member Rodriguez,
Yes.
Member Nguyen,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jackson,
Abstain.
Chair Lara,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay. Have to go back up. Now we move on to item number 2, proposal, request for Measure BP funding for the portable bingo system for the Senior Center Bingo Club.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Very, very briefly, this item was put on the agenda by popular request as well as by the SOC as well. You had asked us as staff to present you with a proposal that will address the needs of the senior community, the senior center specifically. And RCS oversees the program for the senior center. Manny Carrillo is the director, as you know. They put together the proposal, and Manny, if you can please talk about the proposal.
Yes, sir. like to elaborate a little bit more on the proposal. As part of the staff report prepared by staff, page 1 of the staff report, item number 2, there's a brief summary of the proposal. On the second memorandum that I sent to our CEO, there's a little bit more detail in regards to the bingo machine. So just to recap some of the facts. The machine is well over 25 years old. I tend to think closer to 30, but for conservative numbers, we'll just say 25. And we are hoping to modernize our bingo experience. We currently have about 25 players playing every Tuesday from 8:30, and I could be off by a half an hour, 8:30 to about 2:30 every Tuesday. And it is a great experience for those that participate. There was a comment in regards to the TV, and I'll go ahead and definitely touch on that a little bit as I move down the list of items. So the portable bingo machine is $13,370. It is identical to St. John's bingo machine. So we have Javier in the audience, or just walking in. He actually physically went to St. John's, spoke to several of the staff members there. They were kind enough to roll out the red carpet and show him all the ins and outs of the bingo machine. He also visited the vendor and other senior facilities where he tested some of the machinery. In regards to the 85-inch smart TV, there is a price tag associated for a little bit over $11,000, to be exact, $11,217, but it is not all TV. It is 85-inch, which is a very large TV. It also includes a cart, so the cart needs to be sturdy and strong to handle, so there's not too much top heavy or for the TV. And also, what's a little costly, which if depending on the Ball and Park Stakeholders Oversight Committee, we have the option of deleting, although we tend to think it's a good idea, the hardwire to the 4 existing TVs that we have in the assembly hall. So that is a price tag of several $1,000s. City Council approved that several years ago, where we added 4 large screen TVs in the assembly hall. But bingo is not played in the main hall. It is played in one of the smaller rooms. The reason why we don't move it to the main hall is because we have a lunch program in the main hall. I do envision down the road that we will move it into the main hall as soon as we have enough participants. Using Loteria as an example, we have about 100 participants, and they play the old-fashioned way with cards, and it is a very popular game. Bingo, we are trying to modernize at this point, but as of right now, we have not graduated to the main hall because we do have a bingo program. So the amount we've requested is rounded up to $25,000. Be more than happy to answer any questions at this point, but staff has done their due diligence, and we tend to think we could probably negotiate if we receive approval from the committee to try to negotiate a little bit less. The representatives at St. John's did indicate that they would call the vendor, the preferred vendor that we are looking at, to see if the price could come down a little bit. But at this point, staff feels very comfortable that they've did their due diligence, and we also have Javier Navarro, part of the senior center, that has gone out on his own time, his own resources, and checked things out. And Javier is one of our main volunteers, assisting us with bingo and many other aspects of the senior center. This concludes staff presentation. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
I have 2 questions. Manny, first, So with the cart, that means you'll be able to move it wherever you all need that TV, and it can be used in the main room eventually when that needed, and also in any other room if you need to move spaces for whatever reason.
Yes, yes, ma'am. I apologize. I didn't articulate that a little bit better. But as the program grows, we can definitely move it around the facility until we eventually graduate to the main hall where we have 4 existing TVs. But yes, we will be able to move it in to any of the rooms in the senior center and or if we or meeting room 1 and 2 at the community center or even the basketball gym if we really outgrow. Something I failed to mention at St. John's, I realize they have a much larger venue and they have more participants, but if I'm not mistaken, they probably have closer to 10 TVs. So it is a very popular game, and we will probably grow as more participants grow. So yes, it is movable, and we will store it away in the senior center. The senior center does have an alarm system. We have numerous valuable items in there, and we feel comfortable. We will be able to protect it. Thank
And
you.
that feels like with that investment of the cart, it's accident prone. So that way, if a staff like moves it, it won't actually tip or anything like that.
It should not tip. We will can't guarantee, but we've had our existing bingo board for about 25 plus years, and I'm very happy to say we've never had an accident. Although we do have light bulbs going out from time to time, and that is part of the reason why we need a new bingo machine and board. So we will exhaust all options. We're just waiting for a direction from the committee. Thank you.
And I'm not sure if this is allowed. Can I, Javier, if we can ask him a question?
Absolutely.
volunteer who spoke
Javier, if you don't
everything?
mind standing up and answering a few questions. Javier in the house. There you go.
Yes.
Javier, on your expertise on this, on your diligent research,
Can you speak louder? Because I'm kind of here.
do you vouch for this machine? You feel like this is the one that you want and that we should be investing in?
I still can't hear you. So.
Uh, do you feel like this is the machine that you presented and that this is the one that you would want to hear and us to invest in?
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I went to a different bingo places, St. John's, and that's the one. Yeah.
If I could paraphrase for Javier, he hand selected this machine. So this is his machine, and he did all of the research and bounced numerous ideas off us. We searched the internet, and this is the machine, the best of the best, right?
The best of the best. Yeah.
Yes,
There's a place downtown. They still doing the old fashioned with the board. Right now, everybody's doing it with the smart TVs. St. John's, they even have them out in the patio, away from the main hall. I guess that's for the smokers or something like that. Yeah, that's the best of the best.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Question for Manny, the hardwire, when it is in the celebration hall, the hardwire coming out of the new bingo machine, they'll be able to display on the other 4 TVs plus this one, or is just TV?
Yes, sir. Eventually, when we grow into the main hall, we will connect it to the 4 TVs. Currently, the 4 TVs are hardwired. I think that's the proper terminology. So we will plug it right in to the wall, and it will display all of the numbers. Bingo is a very competitive game, so we have to make sure we get it right because Javier is the caller most of the time, and we've had issues where individuals are concerned that one number was called and another number was called. So we want to make sure we are precise and we have the best technology possible to avoid any issues. So the hardwire, I'm a strong believer in hardwire versus the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi follows me around and it kind of buffers, and we do not want any buffering. We want it hardwired. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay,
Can I make a comment? I did call the numbers at one time on the bingo machine, and let me tell you, I don't know what happened, but I barely touched it, and the whole numbers went down to the bottom. Then that didn't make the players happy.
they were mad.
So with this, I'm telling you this, we need a new machine.
Okay. So I make a motion that we put this to a vote. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Member Hern.
Yeah.
Member Hernandez,
Yes.
Member Orozco,
Yes.
Member Rodriguez,
Yes.
Member Nguyen,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jackson,
Yes.
Chair Lara,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. All right, I'm going up on my agenda, huh? Okay. So now we move on to the Measure BP Sales Tax Financial Update.
Good evening, the
Yes.
Measure BP Committee Chair and members. I'm very happy to provide you the financial update. And we have received about $726,587 in September, which brought us up to date the total revenue, including the interest income, in the amount of $10,359,296. It's a very, very good numbers. And also for the expenditure, and we have 11 police new vehicles with 5 years lease approved by the SAC and the City Council, and the two-way radio system also approved by SAC and the City Council. And we also have the architectural services for the concept reports for a proposed sports complex approved by SAC and the City Council. And also there is one tractor proposed by Public Work and approved by SAC and the City Council, and one full-size crew cab pickup truck will be on a lease basis approved by the SAC and the City Council. And I corrected the bus stops enhancement, including the ADA compliance upgrades that we included in the last report with the estimate cost of $368,145. And that was accidentally and oversighted and included in the allocation column. And as you may see from the update report, that amount has been removed. And it was directed by the SAC that we will table it and bring back more information later on. And also the Morgan Park improvements was approved by the SAC, and staff will bring that back to the City Council for a final approval. And the Zogaro Park and Civic Center Plaza for event programming and sign maintenance for the current fiscal year 24-25 has been approved by the SAC and also approved by the City Council. And this will bring up the total expenditure that has been committed and also approved by the city council in the total amount of $3,797,232, which leave us a projected fund balance as of September 30 in the amount of $6,562,064. If there is any question, I'm more than happy to answer.
I have a comment if I may. I had to throw that in there. So I did have a question, Rose, regarding the financials. So with the proposed that they just approved now, we're looking at about 3.9 million, almost $4 million in proposed expenditures on expenditures. So that leaves us a balance of about $6.4 million. Enrique, this is to you, and obviously, I mean, I know that the SOC committee meets every month, but do we have to, every time that the SOC committee meets, does it always have to have an item to pay for something? The reason why I'm asking is this, is just because the money's there, right, doesn't necessarily mean we have to spend it. And one of the biggest projects is going to be the sports complex. And obviously, we already invested $80,000 for, the beginning renderings of that. But there's still a lot of legwork to do on that. And that's working with the school district to find out if we're going to even have a property construct this in. And if and when that does happen, I want to make sure that we're not out of funds. So my recommendation would be, bring something to the SOC on a case-by-case basis, something that's obviously, really, really needed, instead of saying, okay, well, we're going to meet in, let's just say January. What are we going to bring them to pay for? That's just my.
Yeah, Councilmember Damian, to that very point, by no means are we trying to fill the space, right, by having items that come before the council, before the committee. I do anticipate there being months of inactivity due to no new requests, but that doesn't mean that we won't have items to discuss. For example, very soon, we're going to be dealing with the sports complex conceptual development. So those discussions will take up several meetings. Just that alone, no funding involved. Just brainstorming, discussion, and all that. So yeah, that's just around the corner.
Yeah, and I know that, the items that aren't here, I mean, obviously, they're important. I just want to reiterate that, just because we see money in the account, there's a balance, it doesn't mean that we have to spend it. So that was just my thought of it, because they're not meeting again until January, right?
Right. So we'll meet in November, no meeting in December, no meeting in January.
Oh, that's right. So you're meeting next month. Okay, perfect. That's all I had about the money. Guard it.
Thank you. So now we will move on to the Stakeholders Oversight Committee, September 10, 2024 meeting minutes. I recommend or motion that we approve the minutes for September 10th. Can I get a second?
Second.
Member Hernandez,
Yes.
Member Orozco,
Yes.
Member Rodriguez,
Yes.
Member Wen,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jackson,
Yes.
Chair Lara,
Yes.
motion passes.
Next, we move on to Stakeholder Oversight Committee / staff requests and communications. So I have two things. My first question is for the youth sports scholarship. Will that be on the table next month?
That'll be in your November meeting.
Okay, perfect.
So the application period ends at the end of October. And then we will wrap that up quickly and then have it in time for your November meeting.
Okay, thank you. And then the other request I did have, even though it may be very, very repetitious, but if we could actually add to the agenda every month an update on where all of these projects are at. Like I said, I know with some of them, even just thinking of the update the chief gave us the last time, I know that that's probably going to be a very, very slow completion. And that's why I said repetitious, but at the very least, so we're getting an update on where a lot of these things are.
We will do.
Anybody else?
Yes. CEO, I want to go back to last month when Pastor Jackson said about having a forecast on what's the next project that we're going to be voting for, and you just shut that down, right? It looks like you do have a forecast on what's on the next month and the month after next. You don't need to brief us, just to brief us again. Is it possible you can send out a memorandum beforehand other than having us vote on emotions? Because I hate saying I'm not comfortable. Whenever I say, hey, whenever I say, oh, I want to table it, I'm not comfortable, I want to give you a reason why. But a lot of these votings are, we found that out either a week before or the day before. But you do have a forecast like months out, right? If you can just send us what's the next project that you want to get funded, maybe 2 weeks out, so we can look at it.
Yeah, Member Nguyen, we want to, because obviously you're bound by the Brown Act. So we cannot give you information that you're going to be voting on prior to it being a public meeting. So let's see how maybe I can, I do meet with the chair and the vice chair couple weeks just to understand the agenda, couple of weeks before, and certainly that can continue. It's only the two of them. There's no violation of the Brown Act, but beyond that, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay, absolutely. If it's within the means of the laws, then yes, we would want to know what's next. The forecast, right?
Yeah. I'll touch base with our attorney, see. Yeah.
Anyone else?
I did have a question for legal since youth scholarships there. I am a 501c here in the city. I want to apply for it. It's for equipment for my youth group. Would I be able to or not? Let me know.
If you're asking whether there's a conflict of interest in you approving the program and then applying for it, as the CEO rightfully pointed out earlier, whenever a program is available to all members of the public in the same way, then there is no conflict of interest. As long as it's available to all members, even though you're approving this, you're not necessarily creating a financial benefit for yourself directly. So you are able to apply.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Speaking again on the sports grants, Enrique, do you have an idea if anyone has applied to it yet? If we have any applications? Do you have a rough number, Shirley, by chance?
Right now we have, I want to say 4.
Okay, that's
4 or 5. That's it.
That's great. Thank you.
Anyone else? No? Okay. So with that, our next meeting is on Tuesday, November 12th at 5 p.m. And as Enrique had mentioned, our December 10th and January 14th meeting are canceled due to the holiday season. So with that, if there are no other comments, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting. I move that we end our meeting this evening. Can I get a second? I don't need. Okay, with that, this meeting is adjourned at 6:36 PM. Thank you.